Well, greetings. This is Chip Moreland signing on to tell you a little bit about a song that Altered State, a little band that I was in several years ago, recorded called Ghost Beside My Bed. And I've been asked to talk a little bit or reminisce a little bit about what I remember about that song. The song itself was an extremely special song, and we spent a lot of time recording it, several times over, as I recall, before we ever got in the studio. And Curtis and Greg had worked on it in a demo fashion and came up with, a really great feel for the song. It's dreamy yet sort of plodding, hard yet soft. It just really, they did a really terrific job of really capturing the idea before we even got in the studio. And then, as I said, we did it several times in different versions and different iterations, but pretty much the same feel. Finally, when we decided to do it for our first release on Warner Brothers, this was probably 1989, maybe early 1990, we chose Cherokee Studios, which is on Fairfax. I think it's just below Melrose, somewhere in that area. Very famous studio. Probably has been recognized by some people as being one of the best rooms, if not in the country. Definitely in LA. And many great records have been done there. Anyway, so it was a beautiful big room. What you're hearing in there is, as I recall, that is mostly room sound. How it ended up in the mix, I'm not sure, but what we recorded, as I recall, that you hear on the recording today, is room sound. That is actually how big that room felt. And as I said, we pretty much knew what we wanted going in, and so we just we went in late one night, got it one night. I used a Pearl fiberglass kit. It was a 70s vintage Pearl drum kit, and I used a Valley Arts snare, all maple. I think it was a 10-ply or something like some ridiculous drum, and that's all I really recall about the sort of the technical aspects about it. But I know we got it one night. I don't know if we did anything other than drums that night, and then spent several months overdubbing it. But it was a very important song, and as Greg will probably tell you a little bit about the meaning and why he wrote it. There was a follow-up song on the second record called Waking Dream, which was a sort of a sequel to this song, and I thought that was a really terrific song as well, and it's actually probably one of my favorite recorded tracks that we did. A bit obscure, I mean the band's obscure anyway, but that track is very obscure, and but one of my favorites. So anyway, I'm going to sign off now. That was a little bit about Ghost Beside My Bed, and thanks for having some interest in it. Bye.
Take 5,000. Ghost Beside My Bed. Great song. I think we'd still be recording it today if we had Pro Tools. We wouldn't have put it out because we'd still be tinkering, because that's just who we were. And I wanted to say it was an honor to play guitar on such a great song. Thank you, Gregory Markel. Someone had the bright idea of saying, this song needs to have an extra guitar solo, and I was kind of apprehensive at first, and I was just kind of going along with it, kind of like this video. But anyway, long story short, when I showed up to record the guitar solo, I had played the song 1,000 times and still didn't really have anything worked out for that second solo, and I just got lucky. I think I still like it. There are some funny notes in it, but it's still a good moment. And I think overall, I think the song came out better side up. Maybe it's not perfect, but I think any band can look back and say they don't like this or they like that, and that's normal. But I put it on from time to time, and it's nice to hear the band and everybody at that moment in time. But yeah, thank you Greg for writing such an amazing song. I like it whether I hear it on the 4-track or on that CD, that first Altered State CD, or whether Rusty's playing it or I'm playing it or whoever's playing it. It's such a killer song. So anyway, onward and upward. Bye. Are you a message from the graveyard? Or my mind telling me sanity's gone?
Hey guys, stuck in traffic, so I thought I'd make you this video. First of all, I want to thank Kyle for the work that he does to putting this together. And then secondly, I want to thank all of you, the throngs, the masses, that care enough about this stuff to be involved. So thanks for that. Your ears and your thoughts were always very, very important to us, and part of the entire process. So I've been asked to put a video together of my top recollections of that's my GPS of the recording of Ghost Beside My Bed. So the first one is the drum tracking at Cherokee, because we knew how important the drums were, and we got an incredibly powerful organic drum sound at this recording studio called Cherokee in Los Angeles. And Chip did an amazing job and just sounded so thunderous. It was amazing. So we knew that we nailed the drum sound, at least organically. You never know what's going to happen in the mix. Sometimes people muck it up. But so that was a great experience, watching him play, just sounding like Hammer of the Gods, you know, as he was playing. The second memory is the guitar solo, and knowing how important that was to the song, and knowing how great Curtis was, everybody was very excited to actually get to that point and sit there in the control room and watch him go through tracking that guitar solo. I think it's one of the most appropriate guitar solos I've ever heard in a song like that, and that it builds magnificently and builds to an intensity that it just lifts at the right point. Just an amazing solo, and it was a real thrill to sit there and watch Curtis do that and to hear the final product. The third memory is a little secret, and that's the very beginning of the song. That weird, surreal sound is a combination of a few things. One is the soundtrack to the movie Dune Backwards, which nobody knew about and was never cleared. And the other one was a Tim Burton-like horror waltz that I wrote backwards. And those two things were together backwards and resulted in that final sound. The waltz was something like and you put those two together, and it was the creepy beginning to Ghost. The fourth significant and last memory I'll share with you guys as I go on and on was the mixing of the song. The mixing of the song and what wound up happening with it. At that time, arguably the biggest mixing guy in the world was Bob Clearmountain. Bob Clearmountain that year, for example, had just mixed some Bruce Springsteen record, and After Us was going to mix a Paul McCartney record, Paul McCartney of the Beatles. So it doesn't get much bigger than that, and we had this guy, Bob Clearmountain, and we were initially thrilled about it. He'd done a bunch of In-Excess hits, a zillion things. He was like the guy, Rolling Stones, etc. And we could tell, I could tell that song was one of the main reasons that Bob took the job. he was really into mixing that song and really saw it as something unusual. Ghost Beside My Bed. Saw it as something unusual and a chance for him to do some great work. And he spent days mixing that song. It meant so much to him. And he even got a migraine during the midst of it. I don't know if we were responsible for that or not. I don't think so. He got migraines regularly. He had this special guy that would come in and help him with that. Hope that's not too personal a detail. And I remember him being on the phone with Paul McCartney while he was mixing Ghost. That was a big thrill for all of us. Little did I know that a former bandmate, Rusty Anderson, would go on to play with Paul. And so he finished mixing the song, and there were some things about it that I thought were amazing. Some things about it I actually didn't like too much. I'm not going to say what those are because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. And but everybody was thrilled with how that turned out. He later went on to choose that song, Ghost Beside My Bed, and play it as his keynote, as part of his keynote address at the AIS conference or convention that year, which is a big deal for studio people, mixing people, producers, engineers, etc. And out of everything that he'd worked on to that point recently, which included huge, big band names, he chose our track and he played Ghost. That was a big thrill. And it was kind of a confirmation that we'd done something right, while the record company was not doing much right. And then, of course, the last memory to share, I said that was my fourth and last, but this is the last, was that great DJ in the South that decided to play Ghost because the label wasn't going to push it. And when he played it, the phones went crazy. It's what in the radio business they call top 5 phones. And it just wouldn't stop. People just wanted to hear the song. And pretty much everywhere it got a chance, that happened. And for about 6 weeks, that song was one of the biggest songs in the United States. And it was beating bands that we all loved, you know. Metallica and U2 and 9 Inch Nails. We were at the top of U.S. radio for that short time, and it was a big thrill with Ghost, and it was all because of people like you, so I thank you very much, and I hope that reveals a little of the mystery behind Ghost Beside My Bed. Oh, footnote. Common question. Is that a true story, Ghost Beside My Bed? Yes, it is. It's a true story. However, I do not know to this day if it was a ghost or if it was an hallucination or what's called a waking dream. You can Google that, waking dream. Alright guys, thanks so much for caring, and I do hope to have some new music for you relatively soon. See you guys.